Looking at the cricoid cartilage, we have the cricoid ring, so it lies inferiorly south, lower, to the thyroid cartilage. Forms the lowest portion of the larynx, the most prominent in more prominent in females. Interesting. Located between the thyroid and cricoid cartilage, site for emergency surgical and non-surgical access for airway. Oh no, that's the cricothyroid membrane. We have site for, bordered laterally and inferiorly by highly vascular thyroid gland. So because it's vascular, that's why it's going to bleed a lot. Because of its location, paramedics must locate the anatomic landmarks carefully when assessing the airway via the site. This is your glottis. This is what you're looking for whenever we are intubating. So you have, I've only intubated one person, and honestly it didn't even count. It was in the hospital, in the OR. Everybody's around me. Everything is a controlled environment. I want to intubate like the person that's struggling behind the dumpster, and you have to like get in there. Like that's when you feel like you're really doing work. But that being said, there's true vocal cords and then there's false vocal cords. I'm not sure what these look like in real life, because every example I've seen you can distinguishably see the vocal cords. So I don't know what it's looked like when you have fake vocal cords. You have your median glossoepiglottic fold up top. This is your epiglottis itself, this whole process. The tubercle of epiglottis is on the inside. So I guess that's the part almost, if it was like a mouth, that'd be like maybe your uvula. So think about that position. Your airy epiglottic fold. I feel like there's a lot of good Latin and Greek root words in this that you could look up just to understand better. Like arytenoid cartilage and then corniculate cartilage. Glottic opening, trachea, piriform recess, vestibular, false vocal cords, true vocal cords. So that's this area around here is the piriform recess. It's recessed from the epiglottis. And then the big white cords that you're going to see, true cords. I guess these could look like false cords, but probably not. So this is the narrowest portion of the adult airway. The vocal cords are located at the lateral borders of the glottis. The epiglottis is located at the superior border of the glottis, and the ET intubation requires visualizing epiglottis, glottis, vocal cords, and inserting the ET tube. All right, so quick into intubation. What we're going to do once we've measured out the correct blade, it's probably going to be a 3 on adult patients. It's going to be a 3 or Mac 4. You could also use a Miller. I prefer Mac. Mac is the curved. C, Mac. Mac has a C in it. C, curved. Miller, straight L's, I guess. If you want to remember that. So we'll use like a Mac 3, Mac 4, and then we are going to, after we RSI the patient and confirmed that they are down, we preloaded, pre-oxygenated, and they're at 100%, so we have plenty of time to intubate, even though you want to go as fast as, slow, smooth as fast as you are capable of doing. We are going to we're going to get our position. There's multiple positions you could be at. So let's say we're in the ambulance and you're in the lieutenant's position. The body is away from you, laying supine, so you are coming straight in. You're almost going to come in with the blade handle. It's a weird particular motion. Like it's hard to explain, but you're going to stick in, and you don't want to use the teeth as a fulcrum. Do not let the blade itself touch the teeth at all, just to make sure that you don't accidentally snap it. So your goal is to not touch the teeth. You're going over the tongue, you start from the right, sweep left, you're going to see the light that is giving you, lighting up their epiglottis. And you're almost going to like push away and up. It's almost like up and away, basically. And don't feel like it's going to take some strength, so you're going to literally pick their head up if necessary, and that is okay as long as you do not mess with the teeth, do not hit the teeth. Everything else can take that weight that it's resting on. Again, like we have to get into their airway, and don't hold it there forever, but just enough to where you can see it, and you have your bougie inside of your tube, your endotracheal tube, and we are going to slide it in there. And it has a little curved tip at the end of it, so that way we can go up into the epiglottis. So we're going to go through the cords. You're going to visualize that. That's your first indicator for confirming intubation, is we're going to visualize the tube going through the epiglottis. Our second indication, we're going to oscillate with our stethoscope, we're going to listen to gastro sounds. We're going to listen to the stomach. If we ventilate and we hear any air going into the stomach, that's an indicator that we missed. If we don't hear it, good. Let's move on to the lungs. Do we hear sounds in the lungs as we squeeze? Okay, we do. That's good. That means that's another third confirmation that we made it. And then fourth, we're going to look at our capnography. So we're going to have our capno on, and we're looking for, I always get this messed up. It's either 25 to 45 or 35 to 45, basically, millimeters Hg is the number that we're looking for to confirm that we do have capnography flowing, that we do have oxygen flowing to the lungs. And then fifth would be visual chest rise and fall. So that's how we're going to determine that we have successfully intubated. And then we're going to make sure that we are giving the appropriate drugs to continue RSI. If we gave, just going to throw this out there, I believe it's succinylcholine, sedation, then paralytic. We want to keep them sedated because they'll stay paralyzed. So etomidate will work quickly, but we want to make sure we give rocuronium because that is a long-term intubation drug for about 45 minutes. That's going to keep them sedated in a sedated state. Now, if they have brain damage or they're going to be checked out neurally, the doctor is going to want to do that as soon as we get to the hospital. And if we long-term intubate, sedate them with rocuronium, we're going to have to wait until we run that drug out and its half-life's down and the person comes back to. So keep that in mind when you're selecting your drugs, whether you want to short-term versus long-term sedate somebody. And for dosage-wise, just to keep redundancy, if we're doing rocuronium, we're giving anywhere from 0.66 milligrams per kilogram on the patient, to 1 milligram per kilogram. I feel like there's another unit I'm missing there. Milligram per kilogram, maybe per amount of time. I'm not sure, maybe every 45 minutes, something like that. But basically, you could just round up to 1. You're not going to over sedate someone. So go ahead and give them 1 milligram. Keep it simple with rocuronium. If you're doing etomidate, what is etomidate? 3.3 milligrams per kilogram for etomidate. And that's going to last about 6 minutes. So use your maintenance. And you can also do this with fentanyl as well. Fentanyl is dangerous. That's why it kills so many people in the street. So also, if we give fentanyl, it's going to drop their BP. So we're going to look at their BP before we determine if that's what we want to use as well. They all have multiple side effects. You just got to keep that in mind. This is not about respiratory, but at least it's firing my brain up. Ventilation, oxygenation, and respiration. The respiratory and cardiovascular system work together to ensure that a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients is delivered to every cell. Waste products are removed from every cell. Yep, we know how that works. Ventilation, so this is your physical breathing. This is me breathing right now. You can see it. Now, respiration sounds like you're breathing. It's not actually breathing. Respiration, we'll start from the top. Process of loading oxygen molecules onto hemoglobin molecule in the bloodstream. So this is where it starts. This is me breathing in, ventilate. Here goes the oxygen. It's in my lungs. It's going through the bronchioles to the bronchial branches all the way to the alveoli sacs. Once it gets to the sacs, it is going to exchange with the hemoglobins, the red blood cells in your blood vessels, your arteries. All of that is in the same location that I just said right now. All of those things. That oxygen is going to connect to the hemoglobin. I believe they carry four or five oxygen cells per hemoglobin, and it is going to flow through the rest of your body to the system. It's going to go to my brain. It's going to go to my heart. It's going to go to my coronary arteries in my heart because my heart needs energy, needs oxygen too. It's going to go all the way down to the tip of my toe. Every one of those things is going to get that oxygen. And then all the way from the tip of my toe back to my heart, it is going to get the carbon dioxide. So once cellular respiration takes place, it's going to create water. It's going to create carbon dioxide. Those two things are relatively clean, which is why your body works amazingly. So it's going to take that carbon dioxide. That's why we breathe out carbon dioxide, and then also misted water, just because you're a moist person anyway. two different respirations. So whenever it first comes in, that oxygenation, you could say that that is the same thing as internal respiration. No, that is external respiration, because it's on the outside. We're not on the outside actually, right? We're on the lungs, but compared to what's more inside than our lungs, our system, our shoulder, our toes, our brain, all of that is more internal than our lungs as far as respiration goes. So that's going to be internal respiration, all of this, and then it gets to your lungs, your alveolar sacs, external respiration. Now it comes out, ventilation. Cool. Ventilation, yes, we know this. Okay, so this is the physical act of moving air into the lungs. If you breathe in and you breathe out, what's harder to do? Breathing in. Breathing in requires more muscles, more abdominal muscles. I always forget what this is called. Your diaphragm. Diaphragmatic muscles, might have just made that word up, is going to put in effort to suck air into your lungs. And then if you just tried nothing at all, it's really easy to exhale. So that is a effort. Oxygenation process of loading oxygen on the molecules require adequate fraction of inspired oxygen, your FiO2. Oxygen is always on a diatomic? Is a diatomic molecule. It always comes in two, because oxygen, is it +1? I don't know if it's +1 or -1. I'm pretty sure it has a negative charge, and it equalizes so it attracts to itself. There's like 7 molecules that are diatomic. Hydrogen is 1, oxygen is 1, iodine is 1. I can't remember the other ones, but basically naturally in nature, all of these molecules come in 2s. And if they come in 1s, then they're more unstable. They're ions. They might be ions. I'm not sure if they're ions, but they're more unstable, which is why hydrogen is used in so many processes with like the hydrogen bomb and fusion and fission and whatnot. Yeah, I'm trying to think where you'd find O1, like just regular oxygen molecules. I think that's the free radicals. If you over-oxygenate somebody and you put too much oxygen into them, right? Whenever we're looking at someone's pulse ox on their finger to see how much oxygen that they have in their body, if we over-oxygenate them and we put too many oxygen cell molecules in their body, it's going to start reacting with other parts of the body, because the body doesn't know what to do with it, and those cells want to react. They want to, those hemoglobins, the oxygen molecules, want to interact with the cells in your body. Some of them don't need to be reacted, though, is the thing. So then you're going to have them form free radical. The oxygen molecules are sticking to other molecules, creating other things that are happening in the body. There's not a lot in this side of things that goes into detail about it, but basically your body is going to start doing really weird stuff that is a external component as to what we want, an external side effect due to poison. Anything that you take too much of is poisonous. Could be water, could be milk. If you drink enough milk, it could kill you. So it is toxic to the environment, just like oxygen. Even though we think of oxygen as good, it could still be bad. Respiration, yeah, we went over this. Let's see if I missed anything. Exchange, alveoli, yeah, I went through this. Cool. And all this happens in the pulmonary capillaries. Your external respiration happens in the pulmonary capillaries. Pathophysiology of respiration. You have multiple conditions that can inhibit the body's ability to effectively provide oxygen to cells. So you have disruption of pulmonary ventilation, oxygenation, respiration will cause immediate effects on the body. Must be recognized and corrected immediately. That is why it is second on our list of our ABCs when we're performing our assessment. So actually, technically it's first, but if the person was unconscious, lying there dead, we move to circulation first. But in the sense of this person is conscious and alert, we are doing our ABCs, our airway. This is our airway. Must be recognized, corrected immediately. Important, distinguish primary ventilation problems from primary oxygenation and respiration problems. So if we get test questions and A, B, C, and D are all technically correct for whatever is happening to this person, and the questions ask you what to do, start from your top and see what your first thing is that you need to perform in order to put this person in the most stable state of homeostasis. So if they are conscious, airway, and you move down the line. So for test taking purposes. Let's take a break.